But gold rush, I mean, when we heard about a show about mining for gold.
It's easy to stand there and look at a camera and say whatever you want. We've got more heart. Oh, okay. It doesn't make it true. So no, it doesn't bother me.
Parker Schnabel uncovered a long-forgotten gold mine deep in Alaska's rugged wilderness, but what he found there would leave everyone stunned. Hidden beneath towering cliffs and dense forests, this ancient site was more than just abandoned. It held secrets that could change everything. Let us dive into a story where every turn reveals a mystery and every discovery sparks more questions. Unearthing a lost legacy. The first clue was small but intriguing. Among the tangled undergrowth and jagged rocks, there lay a rusted dredging bucket and a fragment of old mining equipment. These weren't just random scraps of metal, they were remnants of miners who had come here decades ago chasing the same dream. Back then, mining was all brute force and basic tools. Those early miners didn't have the tech we do now, and that meant they might have left gold behind without even realizing it. But then the detector picked up something buried deep, something unnatural. Parker's gut told him this place was special, but the land wasn't going to give up its secrets easily. The first soil test, a total bust. Not a single speck of gold showed up. Frustration crept in, but quitting wasn't an option. He and his team dug into the history of the mine, piecing together the stories of those who'd worked the land before them. Old records hinted that the miners had hit gold here, but they'd left in a hurry. Maybe the land had seemed tapped out, or maybe the harsh conditions had driven them away. The team included Mitch, a practical guy with an eye for problem solving, and Aura, the daughter of the claim's owner. Aura's knowledge of the area was invaluable.
Oh, that's the highest grade?
Yeah, the highest grade.
She shared tales of past discoveries and pointed out details others might have missed. Her expertise added an edge to their efforts. It wasn't just about finding gold, it was about understanding the land and its quirks. One day, Aura mentioned something curious, a lone birch tree growing atop a strange mound of earth. She explained that these trees often sprouted in areas where gold-rich tailings had been dumped long ago. Their roots could dig deep into the soil, bringing up gravel and maybe traces of gold. The team got to work. They dug into the mound, sifting through the dirt with deliberate care. And then it happened. Tiny glimmers of gold appeared in the pan. They weren't huge nuggets, but they were enough to ignite hope. This find, small as it was, reinvigorated the team. It proved there was still potential here, buried under decades of dirt and doubt. With renewed energy, they strategized their next moves. The goal? To uncover as much of the land's treasure as possible using modern tools and their combined knowledge. Mitch and Aura worked seamlessly with Parker, forming a dynamic trio, each bringing something invaluable to the table. Meanwhile, back at Big Red, Parker's main mining operation in the Yukon, the crew was holding down the fort. Their hard work paid off with a haul of over 2,000 ounces of gold. This success fueled Parker's determination to make the abandoned mine worth the effort. Alaska's rough conditions weren't going to stop him. The challenges kept piling up.
Hard rock mining, normally you spend a lot of money with drilling and blasting rock.
The weather was unpredictable, the clay-rich soil was a nightmare to work with, and the equipment seemed to break down at the worst moments. But the team was tough. Every problem was just another puzzle to solve. Aura's knowledge of the land's history guided them to areas overlooked by past miners. Geological shifts and river movements might have redistributed gold over the years, she explained, and these spots were worth exploring. As they dug deeper, they unearthed more remnants of the past, rusted tools, forgotten shafts, and machinery left to rot. Each piece told a story of ambition and struggle. The connection to those who'd come before them fueled their resolve. These miners had risked everything chasing their dreams, just like Parker's team was doing now. Persistence began to pay off. Soil tests started showing higher concentrations of gold. It wasn't easy, and every success came with its own set of challenges. Machinery broke down, long hours blurred into endless days, and the Alaskan wilderness tested their resolve at every turn. But the team was relentless. For them, each setback was just another opportunity to prove their mettle. By the end of their first season at the site, they'd uncovered enough gold to make the effort worthwhile. It wasn't just about the money, though. This was about legacy, standing on the shoulders of giants and carrying forward a tradition of grit and determination. Every ounce of gold they pulled from the ground was a testament to that spirit. As the team packed up for the season, they couldn't help but look back at how far they'd come. The abandoned mine was no longer just a relic of the past. It was a place of new beginnings, a proving ground for modern miners with the heart and vision to see beyond the surface. There was still more to uncover, and they couldn't wait to get back to work. The second season began with even more challenges. Early spring rains turned the terrain into a swampy mess, slowing their progress and making every task harder. The weather in Alaska had always been unpredictable, but this year seemed particularly harsh. The team's determination, however, didn't waver. They adapted to the conditions, finding ways to keep their operations running despite the mud and muck. Aura suggested they focus on higher ground to avoid the worst of the flooding. Her intimate knowledge of the area's geography once again proved invaluable. She identified a plateau that had been untouched by the early miners, theorizing that its elevation might have protected it from being heavily worked. The team decided it was worth investigating and hauled their equipment up the steep incline, a grueling task that took days to complete.
When there's $15 million on the line, I don't think you can trust anybody.
Once they reached the site, they set up a small operation to test the soil. The results were promising. Initial pans revealed fine gold particles, enough to justify a more extensive dig. The plateau became their new focal point. As they worked, they unearthed more clues about the area's history. Old maps hinted at a network of underground tunnels that had been abandoned before they could be fully explored. Mitch speculated that these tunnels might lead to richer veins deeper underground. The tunnels ahead held more than anyone expected, and the team was ready to find out. The forgotten mine that sparked a golden revolution. Exploring the tunnels was risky. Many of them had collapsed over the years, and the ones that remained intact were unstable. The team approached the task cautiously, reinforcing the walls as they went. The work was slow and nerve-wracking, but the potential rewards kept them motivated. As they ventured deeper, they began to find signs that the old miners had been on the brink of a major discovery when they abandoned the site. Broken tools and hastily discarded equipment suggested they had left in a hurry, perhaps driven out by the harsh conditions or a lack of resources. The deeper they went, the richer the soil became. By midsummer, the team was pulling out gold at a rate that exceeded their wildest expectations. The payoff was a testament to their hard work and perseverance. But the success didn't come without its costs. The long hours and grueling conditions took a toll on everyone. Leadership was put to the test as they worked to keep morale high and the team focused. Aura continued to play a crucial role in their success. Her understanding of the land and its history allowed the team to work more efficiently, avoiding wasted effort and targeting the most promising areas. Her insights were particularly valuable when the team encountered a new challenge, a section of the plateau that was rich in gold but also riddled with hard rock. Mining this area required specialized equipment and techniques, adding another layer of complexity to their operation. Despite the obstacles, the team pressed on. They brought in rock-crushing equipment to break through the tough layers and access the gold beneath. The process was slow and labor-intensive, but it paid off. By the end of the season, they had extracted enough gold to make all the hardships worthwhile. The abandoned mine was proving to be a treasure trove, just as they had hoped. The success of the second season marked a turning point for the team. They had transformed a forgotten relic of the past into a thriving operation. The abandoned mine was no longer a symbol of failure. It was a testament to what could be achieved with determination and hard work. They knew there was still more to uncover and were more determined than ever to continue the journey. As they prepared for the third season, the team reflected on how far they had come. The abandoned mine had become more than just a source of gold. It was a place of discovery, growth, and resilience. The dream of building a legacy was becoming a reality, 1 ounce of gold at a time. The challenges ahead were sure to be daunting, but the team was ready to face them head on. The story of the abandoned mine was far from over, and they were determined to see it through to the end. The adventure kicked off with a mix of curiosity and determination. Parker, with his team of hardworking folks, took this forgotten site and turned it into a buzzing hub of activity.
So this season, basically the goal is the same as it was last year. 3,000 ounces.
It wasn't just about digging holes randomly. They approached it with a blend of old-school grit and new-age tech. The crew had to work smarter, not harder, and boy, did they deliver. Mitch, one of Parker's trusted team members, brought his methodical thinking to the table. His way of analyzing the land and following his instincts became a game changer. Every nugget they uncovered was proof they were on the right track. The morale soared with each glimmering flake of gold that shimmered in the dirt, showing that their sacrifices and relentless effort were paying off. By the peak of the season, this forgotten mine had transformed into a buzzing operation. Machines roared through the valley, processing dirt and gravel around the clock. The sound of progress echoed as the wash plant's sluice box revealed tiny golden treasures. For Parker, this wasn't just another season, it was a milestone. It was a chance to prove that with the right attitude and a solid team, even the most challenging terrains could yield incredible rewards. Standing at the edge of the claim as the sun dipped below the horizon, Parker felt a deep sense of accomplishment. This wasn't just about extracting gold. It was about creating something meaningful and lasting, a legacy that would stand long after the last speck of gold was mined. The Alaskan wilderness had tested them, but it had also rewarded their grit and ingenuity. This journey wasn't just about digging up gold, it was about the thrill of the hunt and the satisfaction of building something that could endure. As the team dug deeper, both literally and figuratively, they connected with the history of the land. Each layer they uncovered told a story, a reminder of why they pushed forward. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about chasing dreams and conquering challenges.
That was on in the old pump boneyard. Some pump off a dredge.
What set this operation apart was the incredible tech they used. Picture heavy-duty machines that almost seemed to think for themselves, trucks and drills running like clockwork without needing anyone to take over. It was like a factory in the wilderness, with everything working in perfect harmony. This kind of automation didn't just make things easier, it made the operation safer and way more efficient. Drones were the unsung heroes of the operation, flying high above the rugged terrain. They weren't just gadgets, they were essential tools. With advanced cameras and sensors, these flying marvels mapped out the land in record time. In the past, mapping an area could take weeks, but with drones, it was done in mere hours. They identified the best spots to dig and helped avoid wasting time on empty patches of dirt. And then there was the artificial intelligence, the brains behind the operation. AI crunched mountains of data to predict where the gold was hiding. It was like having a treasure map that updated itself in real time. No more wasted effort on barren areas. AI also kept the equipment in check, predicting breakdowns before they happened. It was efficient, forward-thinking, and a total game changer for the team. With gold piling up, new challenges were just around the corner. Mining, smarter and greener. But let's not forget the environmental side of things. Mining often gets a bad rap for wrecking the land, but Parker's team was determined to do things differently. They recycled water, reduced waste, and found ways to use leftover dirt and rock. It wasn't just about being responsible, it was smart business. A cleaner operation meant a better reputation, and in mining, that made all the difference. Water was a big focus. Old-school methods wasted tons of it, but Parker's setup used advanced filtration and recycling systems. This saved water, reduced costs, and helped keep the environment intact. It was a win-win, proving that mining and sustainability could go hand in hand. Training was an area where the crew shined. With virtual and augmented reality, the team could practice without ever stepping into a mine. This meant fewer mistakes and a safer, more efficient operation. Skilled workers were the backbone of this success, and the value of investing in the team was clear. Of course, all this tech and training came at a cost. It wasn't cheap, but it was an investment that paid off in the long run. This wasn't about quick wins, it was about building something sustainable and future-proof. Leadership tied everything together. It wasn't just about calling the shots from the sidelines, it was about being out there with the team, getting hands dirty and leading by example. The vision wasn't just about finding gold, it was about pushing boundaries and showing what's possible when tradition meets innovation. This ancient gold mine wasn't just a discovery, it was a lesson. It showed how far mining had come and where it could go. By respecting the past and embracing the future, the operation proved that mining could be smarter, greener, and more rewarding. The journey wasn't just about uncovering hidden treasures, it was about redefining what's possible in the world of gold mining. The team didn't stumble across this mine by chance. The site was selected after meticulous research and planning. Hours were spent poring over old maps and geological data. The thrill of discovering a location with potential was just the start. The real work began when boots hit the ground. With every step, the team had to consider the challenges of the terrain. Alaska's wilderness is as unforgiving as it is beautiful, and this mine was no exception. From the first day, it was clear this would be no ordinary excavation. Dense forests, rocky outcrops, and unpredictable weather added layers of difficulty to an already ambitious project. But these obstacles only fueled the team's determination. Every time a machine powered through a tough patch of land or uncovered a new layer of history, it reminded them why they were there. One of the early breakthroughs came when the team unearthed remnants of old mining equipment. These rusted relics told a story of those who had come before them, miners who had worked this land with nothing more than picks, shovels, and sheer determination. It was a stark contrast to the cutting-edge tools being used, yet also a humbling reminder of the timeless allure of gold and the lengths people would go to find it. As the operation gained momentum, the team's efficiency improved. Each member had a role to play, and every task was coordinated to maximize productivity. The wash plant, a centerpiece of the operation, worked tirelessly to separate gold from the surrounding material. It was a sight to behold, a seamless blend of engineering and raw power, tirelessly sifting through tons of dirt to uncover hidden treasures. But the journey wasn't without its setbacks. Equipment breakdowns, unexpected weather changes, and the occasional dry patch of land tested the team's resilience. These moments could have dampened their spirits, but instead they became opportunities to innovate. When a key piece of machinery failed, the crew didn't just repair it, they improved it, making it more efficient and better suited to the challenges of the site. Each day brought new discoveries, both in the ground and in the lessons learned. Leadership shone brightest during these times. Knowing when to push the team and when to pull back ensured they never lost sight of their ultimate goal. The ability to adapt and make quick decisions often made the difference between success and failure. The deeper they dug, the more they uncovered about the mine's history. Layers of soil revealed traces of past mining activities, each layer a chapter in a story that spanned generations. The team often paused to marvel at the ingenuity of those who had come before them, miners who had worked this land with none of the advantages of modern technology. As the season progressed, the operation reached a level of efficiency that was nothing short of remarkable. Machines ran like clockwork, and the team's coordination was flawless. Drones continued to map the terrain, ensuring no inch of land was overlooked. AI systems analyzed data in real time, guiding the team to the richest deposits of gold. It was a symphony of technology and human effort, each element working in harmony to achieve a common goal. But as they unearthed the mine's treasures, a question loomed. At what cost to the environment and heritage should progress be pursued? Comment, like, and subscribe to join the debate.